Hi everyone, welcome to my little cabin here on a slough here in Alaska. This week I'm going to answer some questions. My family has had a major loss in the past few days. My grandfather passed away. So I'm just gonna take this week to chill out and answer some questions because I told y'all I would answer some questions last weekend, but I haven't gotten around to it. Some of y'all haven't been around since before I left for Asia in the winter, and some of y'all are new here. So I thought that, yeah, I'd just take it easy this week, answer some questions, and yeah, get everybody up to speed. So a few of you were wondering where I'm at. I am in Alaska, in Southeast Alaska, which I consider my home. It's a place where I've established the most roots and I absolutely love so much. If you haven't seen the story of how my mom and I got up here, definitely go back in the videos. I've been here on and off for about 4 years now, so this is my home. And this leads me to the first question. Michelle6596 asks, how are you? Any changes to your current plans? Or are you still working towards boat life? What's going on with the land? Say hi to your mom. I miss her videos. I am doing much better. I was definitely in a rut when I got back from Southeast Asia. I know it's like kind of cringe and like cliche to say, but I felt really different after traveling through Southeast Asia alone. I felt I was really questioning a lot of things and everything in my life after seeing just how people live so differently and the positive things about each of the cultures that I visited and all of the, negative things that I saw about each of the cultures. Definitely made me super appreciative for my home here in Alaska. But it's made me question a lot of other things like family and community, because communities were so strong there. And so it was definitely a tough time there for a couple months. I'm doing so much better now. I am currently working on getting a skiff together to be able to explore the local waters. I just signed a 1-year lease on this awesome cabin here on the slough. This spot has like some historical relevance in this community, so it feels really good to be in one solid place after traveling for like 2 years straight almost. It's insane, man. That was a lot of travel and what flew by. I am just working on some stability. I am definitely working towards boat life. I decided to just go ahead and sign a 1-year lease here in Alaska because I really need to just slow down. Doesn't mean the adventures are gonna stop. There's so much stuff to do in Southeast Alaska, especially if you have a skiff, so that's why I'm working really hard on getting that done. There's lots of camping, so many adventures to go on here, and over the next year I'm going to be working on my pre-nursing courses at the public university in Southeast over the internet so that I can apply for officially for nursing school. So that's really exciting because my plan is I would like to be a traveling nurse here in Southeast Alaska and sail to the different communities, work contracts, sail to a new community so I can explore around here more and basically virtually get paid to do it and also be a help to my community. So yeah. A lot has changed in my career goals. I used to think that YouTube was going to be like the end-all be-all, and for a time I thought that I was going to quit YouTube, but I decided that I should keep going because I really do appreciate the community I have on here. I appreciate the creative outlet. I appreciate that YouTube helps me to push myself to do things that are out of my comfort zone. So yeah, those are basically my plans. As far as our land here in Alaska goes, we're just sitting on it, honestly. I have so many dreams. My mom also has so many dreams that we want to fulfill before we start investing money in on that property. And yeah, it just started taking a back burner. It's gone up in value, so that's good. We're just sort of like sitting on it. And this summer I definitely plan to go up there and do some berry picking. In the fall, we have mushrooms on our property. So that's basically what we're using it for. We're just sitting on it at the moment. Yeah. So that was a long question, but I hope that clears some things up for y'all. Christina Merritt 9669 asks, will you be going to RN or LPN school? I'm an LPN. That's awesome. I will be going to RN school because I've been advised to just go ahead and do it. How old is William now? How is his health doing? He appears to be getting around really well. Does he still seem like he's enjoying traveling? I love watching him so much. He is one of my favorite YouTube pets. Him, Rocco, and Lars the cat. Oh, that's sweet. And this is from Pounce715. Thank you for the question. William is going to be 11, I believe, in December. He's a Capricorn. And his health is doing pretty all right. He's definitely slowing down, but he did have a torn ACL, well, a half torn ACL that they couldn't work on. So they told me to just keep him from running around and it would heal up, and it has healed up. We have been going on lots of hikes here on the island. I do have to lift him into my Jeep now, which is pretty funny, but he's doing great. And I think he seems to enjoy camping out of the Jeep still. When we go on backpacking trips, I don't think he likes it as much, so he probably won't be going on many of those with me this summer. But Jeep camping for sure. And when we get the boat, he's gonna be right there with me and it's gonna be our boat home. So that's so exciting. I really love this question, and I've definitely been reminiscing over the past months about my top 5 adventures. Sal Sage V, I think that's right, and 3S says, I'd love to hear you rate your top 5 or 10 adventures. Which are the most enjoyable / satisfying? So I wrote them down. So I'd say in no particular order, my top 5 adventures have been surfing in the Philippines, visiting the Arctic Ocean, that whole journey. Wow, I think about that all the time. I think camper van camping with my mom in the South is one of my top 5 just because that's such a special memory I have of my mom and I together. That was one of the first big trips that I've taken via camper van, so I think I just like learned how capable I am during that time. So I look back on that time with fondness. Number 4, going partially up the Stickeen River, which is close to here, with my friends and going fishing. It just was so pristine up there and wild, and we got to cabin camp. I think a lot of my best memories are with my friends or family adventuring, and that was just like And 5, I think the summer that I commercial fished, I did crabbing and gill netting and longlining that summer. I wouldn't say it was like the most fun experience because I was working so hard, but I think it's one of the adventures that grew me the most as a person because it was so hard. I learned so much, and it was just really so awesome to see badass women fishing and being one of those badass women here in Alaska. I definitely think there are a lot of adventures that are for the books, but those are maybe the top 5 I can think of right now that I've been thinking a lot about and have shaped me as a person. Oh, here's another good question. Mitch Collins 2947 asks, as you review your journey so far, what would you change? Biggest mistake, best choice? So, I mean, I don't think I would change anything because would I be the person today? It had all the things that have happened and all the things I've done and all the mistakes I've made been made? Probably not. But I would say as far as like biggest mistake, I think if I were to change one thing, maybe it would be buying land later after I'm done adventuring. I mean, there's nothing wrong with sitting on a piece of land because it appreciates, but I think that there's still so much adventuring I want to do that I don't think I'm ready to just settle down like that. So that would maybe be my biggest mistake or thing I would change. But at the same time, I don't think I would change anything just because, yeah, mistakes are good. Like, I've made so many mistakes and failed and all the things on my time here on YouTube and in my life. You need to make mistakes and you need to fail in life to grow. So I don't think I would change very much, to be honest. Best choice. I think the best choice was taking the leap all those years ago and deciding to just go ahead and buy a camper van and take it a step at a time and diverge from the popular stream of life and go my own direction. That was definitely the best choice. Azure Fire Blues asks, do you like to play video games? I mean, on rainy days when you're stuck inside, do you have any kind of gaming device? Yes, I have a Switch that I actually bargained with my brother to buy off of him years ago, and it's kind of funny. I like playing games that are very similar to living life here. We're like in a small town. Right now I'm playing My Time in Sandrock. I love it because it's desert and it's really rainy here, so when I need to escape the rain, I play that game. And yeah, it's basically like the same thing as living here. Like, you have to fish, you have to build your home, you make relationships with people in your community. So I really like that game. A game that I played at a friend's house a while ago, I think it was Far Cry Primal. I really liked that game. Oh, another game I really like is Firewatch. So just games that basically embed you in nature. When I can't go outside, I just play games where you're outside. It's kind of funny. Zebra Zero Scarf asks, I have a couple of questions. What sort of jobs did you work before YouTube? How are plans going with the property? Sort of answered that already. And the last one, as a woman of color, how has it been living in remote places? I desperately want to move up north from my city, places I've camped before, but I'm terrified about the state of the country and the chances of getting terrible neighbors being a queer woman of color. So first question, what sort of jobs did you work before YouTube? So basically I started YouTube straight out of college, but I was working a lot. I've worked a lot of side gigs to support myself while traveling and filming, and yeah, I've worked commercial fishing. In college, while I was living in a van, I was a barista for Blue Bottle, and then I moved over to their factory in Sacramento where my family is after college, and I worked in their coffee factory for a little bit, saved some money when traveling. After that, it was the pandemic and I was living and nobody was hiring, so I was living in a van very frugally. And then also that's when I started doing some more like social media marketing stuff on the side. And then I commercial fished. I worked for a real estate agent for like 9 months and then decided that was not the industry that I wanted to work in. And then YouTube has been a major source of income for me. And I also did social media for a yacht here in Southeast Alaska. I was a lifeguard in high school. Oh, I also worked at the Carousel at Pier 39 in San Francisco for a little bit. I worked an office job I worked like a little work study office job in college. I've worked a lot of really random jobs now that I think about it. But all of those jobs have been jobs for me to fund this kind of sort of traveling lifestyle. Oh, and then I also got a grant from YouTube in 2022 that supported me making videos and traveling around and getting some work done on my Jeep so that I could get to more remote places. So I've had a whole slew of funding and jobs, and yeah, it's all been in support of my adventurous lifestyle. I haven't really like started working towards a big career other than, I guess, if you consider YouTube a career. That's why I would really like to go into travel nursing, because I think that it would be a good career long term. I think it would support my adventures and my boating lifestyle that I would like to live, and eventually hopefully building out a property. So yeah, that's a little ranty, but I think for me, working jobs that support my dreams is what's important to me. So, oh, okay, and then this other question, so how are plans going with the property? You know what's going on with the property now. It's just kind of sitting there. It's on the back burner at the moment, but we still own it. So as for being a woman of color living in remote places, I think it's really not as complicated as some people might think to be a person of color living in a remote place. Obviously it's super nuanced, but the town I live in, I have never felt uncomfortable here. No one's been outwardly hateful to me here at all. It's very friendly. People get weird when I talk about this topic whenever I bring anything that has to do up with race on this channel, but it's the reality. I am a woman of color, and it is something that I think about often. And personally, in my experiences, my mom and I specifically have been really welcomed here. It's definitely not as diverse as other places like in California that I've lived or in the South. At least in my community, in my town, we do have a queer community here. There are people of color who live on this island. I have never felt unsafe. I think people who are hateful and prejudiced generally keep to themselves here. So I couldn't exactly say what it would be like in other remote places in the US, but I say if you visited and have camped in those places before, like go back and meet some people, and if the vibe is right, like the vibe's right. Obviously, this is a very nuanced topic, but I feel very safe here up in Alaska. That's part of the reason why I like living here as well, is yeah, it's just very open community. Obviously it's nuanced, I said that already, but I think that we shouldn't live our life in fear, and if what you want to do is to live in a more remote or rural place, you should 100% give it a try, at least say that you tried. Obviously, every situation is different and every place is different. I feel like we shouldn't live in fear as women of color. So that's my take on that. JR Dirty 530 1673 says, what happened to your van? Who were some of your inspirations for travel and car camping? So I don't know exactly. I've had a lot of rigs. So the white van that I owned, Maribel, my mom still has. Coco we had to take to a parts place because I couldn't sell it in time to make it back across the US. So a whole story, but she was parted out. I tried to sell her, but nobody wanted her. So that's what happened to her. And then my Jeep I still have, which is my dream rig for car camping and traveling around via road system. I plan on keeping the Jeep. I thought for a while I wasn't gonna keep it and sell it for like a Toyota or something, but I think I'm gonna keep the Jeep. It's really complicated to have it ferried either north or south and then trade it in. It's just gonna be a whole mess. And the Jeep's still under warranty, so I think I'm just gonna keep it for a while more. It is my dream rig. I absolutely love my Jeep Black Panther. Some of my inspirations for travel and car camping before I did it was, so this was back in the day, I watched a lot of Ammon and Beck when they first started doing their van build, and I got a lot of tips from them. They were like the main people I watched on YouTube back then, all those years ago, like five years ago, 6 years ago. That's crazy. Almost 7 years ago, actually, because it was in 2018 when I was thinking about getting a van. And as far as like female travel YouTubers, I really look up to Eva Zubek so much because she's so brave, and any woman that's out there doing camping, being outdoorsy, traveling, I look up to all those women on YouTube, and there's a whole list of them. I just really admire other women who are out there doing the thing. Oh, and then on that note, Reggie Agnes asks, hi Libby, what tubers do you watch / recommend others watch? Right now I'm really into watching Alluring Arctic Adventures, Alluring Arctic Sailing. That couple just did the Northwest Passage, I think the summer before this one, and their videos are amazing and stunning and so inspiring. And yeah, I've been watching a lot of sailing channels. I really like Sailing La Vagabond. That family is so cute. Like, I've been watching a lot of Xander Budnick because he has a lot of like survival outdoor stuff in like similar country to where I live. And so he's been a major inspiration. This is my guilty pleasure, but I love listening to like celebrity drama or like gossip and commentary about different things, pop culture things, especially while I'm doing chores or cleaning. Like, I only allow myself to listen to that stuff when I'm doing something productive. I know, I guess it's a little embarrassing to admit. A person I really like listening to right now is Khadijah. She is so flippin' funny. So yeah, those are kind of like the top 3 that I've been watching recently. So next question is Happy Notes 5106. What has been the most transformative camping / hiking trip / trip been for you? What have you learned about yourself through your trips? Fave coffee, fave camping meal to splurge on. Okay, I'll keep it quick. Most transformative camping, hiking. I'd say, I'd say when I went sea kayaking in Canada in the Sunshine Coast. That was a pretty transformative trip because I realized that I was capable of sea kayaking and overnight camping alone and making decisions on safety, and I got to fish out there too, which was really fun. And my most transformative trip was definitely going to the Arctic Ocean alone, just realizing how capable I was to do that alone. And what have you learned about yourself through your trips? Probably that I'm more capable of things than I realize. I think being the person that I am, I often am met with people being like, oh, you're a woman and you're doing that alone? Like, oh my gosh. So I often self-doubt myself, but I think I've realized over the past years that not to listen to that and that I am very capable. And most people are very capable. Most women are capable. And so that's really cool. Fave coffee. Oh, I don't know if I have a specific type of coffee, but I really have been liking, I think it's that Italian. It's like an Italian coffee where you whip instant coffee and then pour it into milk. That's what I've been really into lately. And favorite camping meal to splurge on. Definitely some type of fish, if I can bring that with me. But in terms of backpacking meals, I really like pad thais, of course. This relates. Joe Biard 4234 says, what was your favorite snack that you tried out of all the countries during your trip? Would love to try and order it on Amazon. Oh my gosh. My favorite snack that I found is like, I guess sort of American, but in Thailand they have these sweet chili Cheetos, like crunchy Cheetos. My mouth is watering thinking about them. I know they're not healthy for you, but that was probably the best like processed food snack you could get at 7-Eleven that I loved. You could probably order on Amazon. Those were delish. Oh, I like this question. JV from PNW 9685 asks, what is the stinkiest thing you've encountered while solo travel camping. Definitely some of the pit toilets. I definitely prefer to go outside, like dig a cat hole if I can. Yeah. I've definitely come out of pit toilets wanting to throw up. A tip I have is taking like a face covering and putting some essential oil in it before you go in if it's a really stinky one. But that doesn't always cover up all the smells. Yeah, that's probably the stinkiest thing. Or me and William after we've been out camping. It's probably the stinkiest thing. Oh, here's a good question. Millie.1963 asks, are you working on any new music or plan to include songs in future vlogs? You have a wonderful voice and I really thought that was the direction you were going to take. Thank you. That's really sweet of you. I wanted to record some music while I was on the road, but it's really hard to do that and for it to be good quality. And I also was lacking some of the tools that I needed to make it good quality. But now that I'm here in this house, there's actually a small room I'm gonna turn into like a office slash recording studio. So I'm hoping to work on some music this winter when it's really icky out and I don't have better things to do. Until then, I've been playing a lot of guitar lately. It's been really just such a source of joy for me to be able to play music again. And I hope I can afford to buy a weighted keyboard soon so I can start playing piano again. That's been really one nice thing about being in one spot. Louise Green, Blue Ruby Jacket, Jack Emmett asks, I want to get up to Alaska next year for a summer job. Do you have any recommendations for the best job sites to find them on? Love your channel. Always keep being you. Thank you. I recommend getting on some Facebook groups for whatever town you'd like to work in and asking around there. I think the best job you could possibly get up here is probably working for a national park, being a tour guide, or working for a national forest seasonally on like trails or something. That's gonna be a lot less hardcore than doing commercial fishing. You get to be on land and meet, like kind of have more of a social life during the summer and meet people and explore more and have time off to explore. But if you want to go hard, definitely recommend coming up here to the town you want to be in basically and walking the docks and maybe putting an ad up on one of the billboards at the harbor that you're looking for a job. But if you're far away, But you can also join Facebook groups. I think there are probably some specific Facebook groups for fishing jobs. If you're a woman, I recommend going with a woman skipper. That's what I have done in the past, and I felt very comfortable doing that. And if you're also going to do a fishing job, I recommend doing a few smaller jobs on land with a person, like helping them fix their gear, clean their boat, or paint their boat before, so you can kind of get a feel for how they work. Because once you're on the water with a person, you're committed, and often people do change when they're out on the water because there's a lot of pressure. So that's my advice to you. There's 1,001 jobs up here. You can also get jobs in food service up here during the tourism season. There's 1,001 jobs up here, and as long as you're not a partier or a heavy drinker and you have a good attitude, you'll 100% be able to get a job up here. Be Grateful asks, how do you plan to marry YouTube with your longer term goals and plans, if at all? So my long-term plan is to travel nurse. Whether that is doing that by boat around here, or if I take some contracts in other places in the US or some other countries, I would be very much open to doing Doctors Without Borders and volunteering some time as well, traveling. So YouTube will always be coming along with me in those adventures. There would be so much content for me to record and share on my journey over the next few years. So that's what I plan on doing, posting as consistently as I possibly can. Ghost Runner Co 6791 asks, shampoo, what kind? I use Shea Moisture because I have been using that since I was a kid, and it is very nostalgic for me and I love the smell, so I just kind of have stuck with it. Nicholas Ivanov 8084 asks, in Spanish, but I translated it, is there a place that scared you while camping? For example, strange noises, animal noises, or do you usually not pay attention to them? I'm from Argentina. There are pumas in the mountains here, and when I explore, I feel uneasy, especially I see tracks sometimes. I usually try not to pay attention to noises. There are a few people asking if there's anything weird or strange that I've heard out while camping, and no, I have never heard anything unusual. There's usually a logical answer to every sound. And then besides that, like, I try not to like dwell on it when I'm out there, because if I did that, I would never go outside if I was afraid of everything. So no, I haven't, but once when I was hiking up to the cabin here in town, I saw big wolf prints, and there was blood on the ground, so it had just like killed something. That was pretty scary. So I went to the other direction of that very quickly. I mean, sometimes I do feel uneasy when I'm on my own because there are very big animals out there. But I try not to think about it too hard. I have a plan for anything, if anything happens, and yeah, nothing so far has been out of the normal. Aaron Lives Van Life asks, what do you miss about not living in your Jeep full time? I think for me, I miss the freedom of it. It is such a free lifestyle, free financially, free from being bound to one place. You could just pick up and go whenever you feel like it. I think that I'm definitely going to miss a whole lot in this next year, just being in one stable place for a little bit. But pros and cons, you know, like it feels so good to be in one spot and to have community here and to be able to like spread out and work on my other hobbies and my other goals in life. So pros and cons, but yeah, that is probably what I will miss the most in this next year of just staying in one place. It's just being able to pick up and go whenever I feel like it. Diamonds for Joy asks, what's your brother up to? My brother is coming to visit in like T-3 weeks. He is living in Oklahoma right now, and I think he's going to be working on getting his CDL very soon. So I'm very happy for him. He's happy down there. Okay, here's a question. I can't really make out your handle here, but the question is, hi there, I'm new here to your channel. Are you married? So I guess I should clear things up here because people ask me this all the time, and I've been pretty private about this part of my life just to protect my mental health and sanity, but I am not married, and I don't really plan on being married anytime soon. And this next year, I really think I'm going to be focusing on me and my goals. really just getting my life in order and yeah, learning how to be on my own more. It's actually really interesting. When I was in the Philippines specifically alone, people would always ask me if I was married or not. So that's just like such an interesting difference in culture. It really tells you like what things are important in the Philippines, and family is definitely one of them in the Philippines, which I admire so much. Family is also very important to me. And I don't know, that was something that I was exploring while I was traveling too, like inwardly, and asking myself while I was traveling if one day I would want a family. And like, I'm open to it, I think, if I find the right person to being married and having a family, but my family is gonna have to be very adventurous if it does ever happen, but it has to be the right person. And marriage as an institution, I'm a child of divorce, so I don't know if I would be into the idea of getting married on paper. Maybe like committally bound, like we have a ceremony and we're like committed to each other, but legally, unless it makes sense, I don't think that would make sense to me, just because, yeah, I see so many people struggle with that. But I don't know. Love changes people. So we'll have to see in the next years what happens. But right now, I'm in my era of me and building. So that's what I'm focused on. Last question from YouTube is, if a vegan is someone who shows compassion for animals, your compassion and respect for wildlife shows that you are vegan at heart. Why aren't you a practicing vegan? This is like a very, I really love this kind of question because it's very philosophical. I used to actually be vegan through college, and a few years afterwards I was, so I think like a total of 7+ years I was vegan before I came up here and became pescatarian, and now I'm sort of like a freegan. I try not to buy meat from the store that often. I want to move towards more of a direction of trading things for like moose and venison here, so that I'm eating wild foods more, because it's better for the environment, in my opinion. I think it's possible to show compassion for animals even if you are utilizing them. So for example, salmon, one of the seafoods that is vital to this region of the world, I got to see firsthand a few years back fishing on a commercial boat and also harvesting salmon on my own. I got to see how beautiful and fresh and vital this salmon is to the food chain. Salmon not only feeds humans, but it of course feeds the wildlife in this region, but it also feeds the Tongass rainforest, as working as like nutrients for the trees and all of the plants that grow around here. So it's, to me, a very beautiful thing. I have always thanked the animals that I have harvested on my own, and have been very thankful for any of the meats that come from this land, because in my opinion, that's the purpose of those animals, they're part of the food chain. So I think it's much better to find proteins in the wild environment in this beautiful land, rather than purchasing things that take fossil fuels to get up here. So it's just a way of life up here in Alaska, and I know that there are going to be lots of people who don't understand. I respect people who choose not to eat animal products, and I thought that I could continue to not eat animal products up here, but it's really complicated. I'm sure my opinion will ruffle a few feathers, but yeah. I think we should all just have respect for each other. There's so much hate and anger out there. I'd just rather live a life of respecting people for whatever choices they decide to make. Okay, this is really long, but we're moving on to Instagram questions. So thank you if you're still here. I hope that you are drinking a nice drink and chilling, listening to this, or I can be your companion on your commute to work or while you're doing chores or something. Here, Dallas.gal asks, craziest thing that happened to you in Asia that you didn't put in a video. So I decided to stop recording because I felt like I was having kind of an inauthentic experience when the second half of my trip in Asia, and I wasn't like being fully present, and I wanted to experience that in my life, and I was like, this is my chance to experience that. So there's a lot that I didn't record. After my last video in Asia, I went to South Vietnam. and I met this random guy. This is gonna sound really bad. I met this random guy when I got off of a bus in Hue. He offered to take me to Da Nang and tour me around, and I actually like took him up on it. I know people are gonna be like, Louie, that's so dangerous. It ended up being fine, and yeah, he basically drove me to Da Nang, and he like showed me so much stuff. We went to like this waterfall. He showed me like all of these stops. That was a pretty crazy thing that I did video it, but I don't think I'm gonna share it just because I don't recommend just randomly going with people, and I don't want to be a role model for people to do stuff like that. So that was a crazy thing that happened. Afterwards, I went to Cambodia, and that was a real journey. I recommend visiting Cambodia. Nothing crazy out of the usual happened there. Yeah, I went to Phnom Penh, and then I went to Coron and Coron San Luem and stayed there in some hostels and met people and explored. And then I went up to Angkor Wat. That was an amazing experience, pretty crazy. Didn't put that on camera, but it wasn't like dangerous. And then afterwards, I met my mom and my friend Angie in Thailand. So nothing really crazy happened, but that was a whirlwind. I think, yeah, the craziest thing was going on that tour with the random person I met. Yeah, don't recommend doing that. It was a good experience for me, but I don't recommend other people doing it. So yeah, that's why there isn't a video about that. From Kargath asks, has the fishing been going this season? So my mom and her boyfriend JP, they bought a boat recently, and they have been doing a lot of crabbing that I've been able to partake in, crabbing and shrimping, and we set a halibut skate. Didn't catch any. We set a couple of halibut skates that we didn't catch anything on, unfortunately. We're still learning how to do that. And we went salmon trolling on my birthday, and we didn't catch anything that day either. So we've been learning a lot I've been learning a lot of new fishing techniques that I've never known before, and it's been really fun. The salmon will be running up the river very soon. I missed steelhead season, unfortunately, because I was getting my life together. Yeah, so it's been going good. Also, I'd like to jig for herring and make some pickled herring soon. TJ.McKenna asks, are there any areas in Alaska you've been wanting to see but haven't gotten to yet? Yes, oh my gosh, Alaska is so big, if you didn't know that already, and I would really like to go up to the Arctic again. Not this year, maybe next year, but I would love to go up there and visit Fairbanks and go to the hot springs, do the touristy things, but also spend some time in the Brooks Range because the Arctic is just so beautiful, and when I was there, it was so buggy. I can't even begin to describe how buggy it is. So I'd like a redo on that one, and maybe go up in like the early fall when there are less bugs, or in the winter. Could be cool to see like -60, -50. That would be an amazing experience. I'd really like to go to Denali, of course. I haven't done that yet because my Jeep was in the shop last summer and all my plans got fumbled, but that's okay. I'd love to go to the Aleutian Chain via sailboat maybe one day. That would be really epic. And I'd really like to explore down here Prince of Wales, and there's a ton of small towns like Edna Bay, Tanaki, Hoona that I'd love to sail my boat to when I get my boat in hopefully a year. So lots to explore. It's never ending here. There's always something to explore, and it's just always beautiful everywhere you go here. So I'm excited for that. Oh, okay, a spicy question here. Isabel Luemi, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, asks, how is it dating in a rural area as a young person, if you feel comfortable answering? Dating in a rural area is very interesting, and specifically in Alaska, the saying goes, many of you have probably heard this before, but the saying goes, their odds are good, but the goods are odd. So I've dated quite a few people. I've dated quite a few people in Alaska, and some of the relationships were really good. Some of them are really odd. Some of them didn't last. I think I know what I don't want at this point. So it's surprising. Yeah, in a rural area you can date. My hopes are not high for finding somebody here just because it is so small. There are about 3,000 people on my island, so, but I do know quite a few people who have met the loves of their lives here. Like, they have found their person here. So it can happen. I think you just have to be patient in a rural area and involve yourself in the activities you like doing to find the right person. Ooh, Shauna _ so blessed asks, would you consider doing tours of Southeast Alaska? Yeah, I might consider it in the future if I have time to do it. What I would do is partner with all the tour companies in this area. Like, I would probably lead a group similar to like a Trover trip that I've done before, but I would basically, yeah, hire out all of the tour companies in this area to take us places, to support the businesses, and they have all the resources to take us out and do stuff. It would be really fun, actually, to do like some sort of fishing trip or something with a group of people. Bianca Gramps asks, how did that diesel heater in your Jeep work out for you? Wonderfully. I am such a proponent for putting a diesel heater in any size rig. That dry heat is just worth its weight in gold. Air doesn't weigh anything. A diesel heater is worth its weight in gold, especially here where it's really wet or in places that are really cold. I recommend it. It's worth it. Definitely do it. Mike Leo Adventuring asks, have you thought about getting a rooftop tent? Would make for some extra space. Yes, actually, now that I'm more brave camping, I think that I will consider getting a rooftop tent if I plan on doing like a longer trip, maybe down to like Mexico or something. I don't think I will get one here in Southeast Alaska because it will likely get super moldy, so I don't want to do that while I'm here. But I think it would be really nice to have a rooftop tent. Someone just put ? Vancouver Island. No, I am in Southeast Alaska, the panhandle of Alaska. Robbie C asks, what do you miss the most from your stay in the Philippines? I miss the people. Everyone was so friendly in the Philippines. And I also miss the warmth there, and I miss the beach, and I miss surfing. Yeah. The Philippines was amazing, and I think about it like once or twice a day for sure. All of the good memories, and I want to go back and explore more. Yeah, there's a lot of mountains there. So hopefully I can find someone to drag with me at some point and go back again and do some mountain summiting. Oh, I just miss it so much. Tamtan Shaban, I like that name, asks, do you listen to music in the forest? A favorite artist or song recommendation? Just to keep it short, I will put my Spotify account in the description so you can go check out what kind of music I've been listening to. There's some bops on there for sure. More questions, I swear. If you're here still, congrats, because this is a long one. M. Jenks STN asks, do you fly fish? I have used a fly fishing rod before, but I do not own one currently. And so that's definitely something I'm going to be doing because I feel like it would be better for trout fishing. And I would love to learn more about fly fishing. Anti-Right Subs, any more big travel plans coming up? I'm going to mostly be focusing on Alaska right now. So if you're into Alaska content, stick around. Have you ever had a bathroom emergency while living in your Jeep? Fortunately, no. I've come close, but I've always been able to figure it out. So that's good. No interesting story there, unfortunately. Okay, I guess to finish this video off, I'll answer this last question. I think if I didn't directly answer your question, I think someone else asked a question that answers your question. So if I didn't answer your question, I'm so sorry. Put it in the comments below and I'll answer it via typing. But the last question here is from Gilbert Gallego. I hope I said that right. Summarize your YouTube career in 3 words. Okay, I think one of the words would be unexpected. I never expected for this to get to the point that it did. I, of course, have worked really hard to be able to get my channel to this point, but I think it is still unexpected. Like, I can't believe that I've built a community on here. I think another word would be creative. I think that my YouTube career has allowed me to be so creative over the years and grow in a creative way, which I really appreciate. And maybe the last word would be patience. Growing this channel has taught me a lot about patience and just pure persistence because sometimes you feel like giving up when you're making YouTube videos, like when you make something that you feel really proud of but people don't respond in a way that feels good, or people are mean to you on here. It takes a lot of patience and persistence. So I'd maybe say those are the 3 words that describe my YouTube career so far. So yeah, anyways, this has been really long. Thank you for joining me. I'm debating whether or not to fly all the way down south. It's so far. So I will be coming out with some more camping videos and Alaska stuff. Maybe I'll do a camping trip when I go down south with my brother or something. So yeah. It's a hard time for my family right now, so send us good vibes. Oh, here, let me show you William. He is chilling. William is living his best life with the biggest bet ever. He has a heating pad now that I bought him that he absolutely loves. So I'm spoiling William in his senior years. Oh yeah, okay, well thanks for listening, everybody. I hope everyone's having a great start to their summer or warm season. It's finally starting to warm up here, which is so nice. And yeah, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!